Jeremiah chapter 44. The word that has been to Jeremiah concerning all the Jews who are dwelling in the land of Egypt, who are dwelling in Migdol, and in Tahpanhes, and in Noph, and in the land of Pathros, saying, Thus said YHWH of Hosts, God of Israel, You have seen all the calamity that I have brought in on Jerusalem, and on all the cities of Judah, and behold, they are a desolation to this day, and there is none dwelling in them, because of their wickedness that they have done, by provoking me to anger, by going to make incense, by serving other gods that they did not know, they, you, and your fathers. And I send to you all my servants the prophets, rising early and sending, saying, Please do not do this abomination that I have hated. And they have not listened nor inclined their ear to turn back from their wickedness, not to make incense to other gods. And my fury is poured out in my anger, and it burns in cities of Judah and in streets of Jerusalem, and they are for a ruin, for a desolation, as at this day. And now, thus said YHWH of Hosts, God of Israel, Why are you doing great evil to your own souls, to cut off man and woman, infant and suckling from you, from the midst of Judah, so as not to leave a remnant to you, by provoking me to anger by the works of your hands, by making incense to other gods in the land of Egypt, to where you are going to sojourn, so as to cut yourselves off, and so as to your being for a reviling and for a reproach among all nations of the earth. Have you forgotten the wickedness of your fathers, and the wickedness of the kings of Judah, and the wickedness of their wives, and your own wickedness, and the wickedness of your wives, that they have done in the land of Judah, and in the streets of Jerusalem? They have not been humbled to this day, nor have they been afraid, nor have they walked in my law and in my statutes, that I have set before you and before your fathers. Therefore, thus said YHWH of Hosts, God of Israel, Behold, I am setting my face against you for calamity, even to cut off all Judah. And I have taken the remnant of Judah, who have set their faces to enter the land of Egypt to sojourn there, and they have all been consumed in the land of Egypt. They fall by sword, and are consumed by famine, from the least even to the greatest. They die by sword and by famine, and they have been for an execration, for an astonishment, and for a reviling, and for a reproach. And I have seen after those dwelling in the land of Egypt, as I saw after Jerusalem, with sword, with famine, and with pestilence. And there is not an escaped and remaining one of the remnant of Judah, who are entering into the land of Egypt to sojourn there, even to turn back to the land of Judah, to where they are lifting up their soul to return to dwell. For they do not turn back, except those escaping. And they answered Jeremiah, all the men who are knowing that their wives are making incense to other gods, and all the women who are remaining, a great assembly, even all the people who are dwelling in the land of Egypt, in Pathros, saying, The word that you have spoken to us in the name of YHWH, we are not listening to you, for we certainly do everything that has gone out of our mouth, to make incense to the Queen of the heavens, and to pour out drink offerings to her, as we have done, we and our fathers, our kings and our heads, in the cities of Judah and in the streets of Jerusalem. We are satisfied with bread, and we are well, and we have not seen calamity. And from the time we have ceased to make incense to the Queen of the heavens, and to pour out drink offerings to her, we have lacked all, and we have been consumed by sword and by famine. And when we are making incense to the Queen of the heavens, and pouring out drink offerings to her, have we made cakes for her to idolize her, and to pour out drink offerings to her, without our husbands? And Jeremiah says to all the people, concerning the men and concerning the women, and concerning all the people who are answering him, saying, The incense that you made in the cities of Judah and in the streets of Jerusalem, you and your fathers, your kings and your heads, and the people of the land, has YHWH not remembered it? Indeed, it comes up on his heart. And YHWH is not able to accept you any more because of the evil of your doings, because of the abominations that you have done. And your land is for a ruin, and for an astonishment, and for a reviling, without inhabitant, as at this day. Because that you have made incense, and because you have sinned against YHWH, and have not listened to the voice of YHWH, and have not walked in his law, and in his statutes, and in his testimonies. Therefore this calamity has met you as at this day. And Jeremiah says to all the people and to all the women, Hear a word of Yahweh, all Judah, who are in the land of Egypt. Thus spoke YHWH of Hosts, God of Israel, saying, You and your wives both speak with your mouth, and with your hands have fulfilled, saying, We certainly execute our vows that we have vowed, to make incense to the Queen of the heavens, and to pour out drink offerings to her. You certainly establish your vows, and certainly execute your vows. Therefore hear a word of Yahweh, all Judah, who are dwelling in the land of Egypt. Behold, I have sworn by my great name, said Yahweh. My name is no longer proclaimed by the mouth of any man of Judah, saying, Lord Yahweh lives, in all the land of Egypt. Behold, I am watching over them for calamity, and not for good. And all the men of Judah who are in the land of Egypt have been consumed by sword and by famine, until their consumption. And the escaped of the sword turned back out of the land of Egypt to the land of Judah, few in number, and all the remnant of Judah who are coming into the land of Egypt to sojourn there, have known whose word is established, mine or theirs. And this is the sign to you, a declaration of Yahweh, that I am seeing after you in this place, so that you know that my words are certainly established against you for calamity. Thus said Yahweh, Behold, I am giving Pharaoh, king of Egypt, into the hand of his enemies, and into the hand of those seeking his life, as I have given Zedekiah, king of Judah, into the hand of Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, his enemy, and who is seeking his life.